All right, Xavier, I got some tweets here, some quote tweets.
I don't want to hear it. I can feel the energy coming from here. I know it's some bull.
Yeah, some bull. This says here, African Americans are one of the black people we just unfortunately have to leave behind. They are too far gone and are exactly like their oppressors. You can't even educate them out of their ignorance. It's sad.
That's crazy that was spoken like an oppressor.
Right. Another person said the closest thing y'all have to culture is the Migos album.
I can't stand these niggas.
They're little jabs. They think they're funny and it's funny.
They didn't even pick the best Migos album.
Right. Black American culture. Obsession with sneakers. Obsession with luxury brands. Obsession with artificial beauty, wigs, makeups, and BBLs. Obsession with unhealthy food, calling it soul food. Obsession with gang violence, love to play victimhood. It's always the white man's fault. Sexualizing themselves, being unnecessarily loud, and single moms.
Sexualizing themselves.
Yeah, and they even try to gatekeep this shitty culture. So see, these are some of the tweets that I've been seeing around.
That's just the most ignorant statement I've ever heard in my entire life, and I know those accounts is not run by no actual black person.
These
It's a psyop came out. I refuse to believe it. I refuse to believe it. That's the dumbest thing I've ever heard in my entire life. Black American culture, the one that you don't believe we have, has been stolen by everybody in the entire fucking world. From everything from country music to K-pop, which a lot of people are just now starting to find out, have used black people and their representation and their skin tone to make a culture for themselves. Like, to say that black people don't have a culture is not only insulting just to everything that we've built over the years, but it's just a straight just middle finger to our ancestors. Like, if that's how y'all feel, stop saying nigga like you from here then. Oh, but we were slaves too. You ain't from America. Y'all ancestry is over there. So use the word that they called you then, nigga. We'll leave that for us. If that's how you really want to feel. Like, it's insane to me. Like, we gonna claim victimhood over a people that were enslaved and then put into prisons and further enslaved and claim that they are sexualizing themselves and condoning violence. Where did these motherfuckers grow up at? That's just, who raised you? Use some critical thinking. Like, matter of fact, you're gonna have to see me for that one. That's insane. Stop watching our stuff then. Stop wearing our clothes. Stop trying to dress like us. Stop looking at our women then, if that's how you want to be about it, if that's what you want to call it. Everything that you watch, everything that you look at, everything that you view as popular is dictated by the very people that you say have no culture.
Right.
So define, what is culture then? Having multiple wives and like not letting my children do what they want to do and like dictating every piece of my life and making it seem like the man is the only thing, that the man is God, and if you don't believe in the man, then you're going against your family's will. Like, that's our culture. That's what culture is. Culture isn't taking literally slavery and turning it into that unhealthy food that you're talking about, taking literal scraps and turning it into something that entire restaurants hundreds of years have been built on. That shit is just insane to me. That's insane to me. If we didn't have culture, why do they try so hard to diminish everything that we say? Mm-hmm. This doesn't even go for the people who are giving us those statements. This goes for everybody. Y'all just got to start using a little bit more critical thinking skills. Do you think they would take this much time out their day in this economy to continually talk about a people who are, in their words, degenerates with no culture, if they didn't believe they had something that they were trying to stop? You don't talk about something that don't need to be said. So the fact that it sounds, at the end of the day, it sounds a little bit more like jealousy. I would love and hope to pray, and I still believe to this day, It's a psyop. There's no way black people are actually saying this. And I don't just mean black people in America. Black people in all of the diaspora. On my Dr. Umar.
Mhm.
I refuse to believe that we are actually having these conversations. I refuse to believe. I've seen it on TikTok. I've seen it, Cayman. I know.
We're having these conversations.
It's ridiculous.
Unfortunately, Xavier.
A lot of what I've seen it has been the UK black people, though.
Okay.
Why are you mad at us? Because your food is nasty. Ain't nobody tell you to put beans on your potatoes with raw cheese. And a lot of black people, when we say black people in the UK don't have a culture, we mean black UK, you do not have a culture. We're not talking about the African culture that you brought over with your great grandparents, because a lot of the black Africans that live in the UK and in Europe haven't been there for over 400 years, like black Americans have been in the US. So what culture you want to start talking about that development of the culture? Y'all are eating potatoes and beans. That's white people stuff. You don't eat the food outside your parents' house or the people who look like you. Your African ancestry. We're talking about you coming over to the UK with your ancestry, meeting up with another group of black people from another ancestry, and fusing together and creating a culture of one. That is what black Americans were able to do, no matter how messy it may seem over the years and how much was taken from us and projected in a negative light. A lot of what people see outside of America, like if you only have one vision of Americans or black Americans and all you see is baddies, all you see is rap music videos, I can understand why a lot of people have these views. But again, the theme of the day is critical thinking. Use some dang critical thinking. I don't watch a movie and think, okay, this represents every African in the entire world. This represents every Jamaican I've ever seen in my entire life. It's a movie. It's a music video. Sean Kingston ain't everybody. And I just don't understand. And honestly, delete this whole video, because this whole energy is throwing off on my J. Cole thing. It's just throwing off my vibes, and I'm just not at peace right now. I'm just not at peace right now.
That was last year. Dreamville Fest is over now. I don't know if J. Cole is retired or not. But Xavier, it's unfortunate. This is the reality of the situation. We're having these conversations, unfortunately, amongst who I would say is our brothers, our cousins, our family members, people that we shed blood with, people that our identities have been snatched. You said something, I think this is the most important thing. Us that are Africans in America were stripped of our identity. We've had to recreate ourselves within this system after we were taken here not by our own doing.
Right. Everything you see is DIY.
Right. So it's very interesting to me because I look back at the mother continent and I think about the parallels that we've had with those people, and they kind of don't relate to us in certain ways either. There was European entities that infiltrated parts of Africa and tried to implement their Western traditions into the systems, making sure that those Africans don't understand their identity. There have been Africans that have had to flee from the mother continent because of European influence and have lost pieces of themselves. So it's just so relatable on how much we relate to each other. And the conversation is always about what we don't relate with each other. Now, is it because black people are black Americans are the punching bag?
Yes, sir.
I'm trying to go back in history. Where do we want to start? We've been here for 400 years, but let's go into what we know. Like I know about the 60s, 70s, 80s, and 90s. So let's go back into. How about let's go into Tulsa when we had Black Wall Street and we actually built something ourselves, and then white people came in and destroyed it. Do we want to go to that? Do we want to go how we were self-sustainable at one point, and then white people came and had to F that up because they saw how self-sustainable we were?
Not once.
Not once.
Not twice.
Not
even 3 times.
Our black leaders in the 60s and 70s were assassinated and killed. All movements that were progressing in a solid way, those leaders were killed Malcolm X, Martin Luther King, Fred Hampton, the Black Panther Party, and what they were doing in the community. Do you understand that these leaders of these major organizations that were young, these were young leaders.
Starting food programs, getting babies diapers and like things that the government should be doing for the people younger than us.
Younger than us.
Decided that they would do it for themselves, do it for their community.
Right.
And I don't want to say that that's something that we've lost over the years, but it's definitely something that is made harder for people wanting to step into after watching all of our figures die the way they've have.
Mm-hmm.
I still refuse. I don't believe it's real. I don't believe it's real. I am a Pan-Africanist in my soul. I am a Pan-Africanist in my soul, and I would like to believe that all black people, all descendants of the diaspora will come together one day for the betterment of all black people. That's my hope and my prayer, my dualism to this day. Is that what I see? And a lot of the times, no, but at the same time, I really do just like to believe that's still just colonialism's grip and a lot of that lack of access to one another to have those conversations. I see that with TikTok, we're starting to be able to have a lot of those conversations, squash a lot of that beef that kind of formed out of nowhere, which is suspicious in its own. Kind of just squash this beef. And I still just, it always comes back to, we talked about it a little bit off camera as well, and the name popped up to me, so I want to speak on it real quick. But the book Wretched of the Earth by Frantz Fanon, he talks about how we can kind of view black people as the world's punching bag. Anytime another group wants to feel good about themselves, they need a little bit of pick-me-up, they can always look at black people and say, well, at least I'm not them. My life can't be that bad because I'm not black. We are the ugly best friend. We stand next to a group of minorities and we make them look better because they're not niggas. That is our role in this world.
But they still, but everything, the culture, the music, the style, the fashion, like the lingo, all that is still things. So it's like,
right.
How in the same vein are we the cool best friend and the ugly best friend? We're the life of the party best friend. We're all these best friends in one, Xavier, at the same time, because we're the ugly best friend when it comes to economic,
everything.
Resolutions, are when it comes to really progressing with things. But entertainment are...
Hey, if you have everything, you lack that certain quality. So you're watching people who have nothing. You watching people who have something you don't. Mm-hmm. So that's something new to you. It's something imaginative that you weren't able to even envision as possible.
Xavier, they exploited Africa for natural resources and they ain't said a word. Little to no benefit from the people that actually lived in Africa. They drilling and doing all kinds of stuff. Have we not been exploited for all the benefits that we've had with this country building this shit? So the origins and where we live, they exploited that. The Europeans have exploited that. And the origins of where we live, the natural resources that Africa has, that has been exploited by Europeans. In the same vein, us here that have built, our ancestors have built upon this country, we have little to no economic power in this United States at all.
You sound like a victim.
Oh, I'm blaming the white.
You blaming the... Come on, brother. You need to get out that mindset, brother.
And this is the thing.
It was a choice.
Everything that I named here with the addiction to shoes and BB, everything that I named here are things that we can't get off of what happened to us. Not even 20, 30, 40. And right now, literally what's happening to us right now, this second.
And it's also a thing people do worldwide.
Right.
We're not going to sit here and act like black Americans are the only ones who are sneakerheads and like jewelry. Are we serious? Are we going to sit here and act like you can't go to sneaker cons across the world, but we want to just highlight black people as the only ones who obsess over shoes? Mm-hmm. Maybe because they were designed by American athletes and people that we grew up idolizing. Maybe that has something to do with that. Maybe it has something to do with the lack of figures to idolize. So we kind of defend over to celebrities and musicians. But critical thinking, that's not a skill that everybody has.
Everybody doesn't have the critical thinking skills, but we're resilient. No matter what type of African you are, Xavier, we do have something deep down inside of us that is inspirational on all fronts. Now, I do want to bring this conversation back to unity because at the end of the day, that's what it is. Like I said before, we have more things in common than we don't. So we have to take the things that we actually that have in common and say, why are we having these type of conversations when this certain group has been oppressing the both of us? No matter where you live at, no matter where you're at, this is the reality of the situation when they're there. You're going to be treated in a certain type of way. So why don't we bring those things together as a people and actually fight against that? Like, I need every brother and sister that I can have. And it's like, are we so far gone in 2025 where we're really having conversations saying there's not Black American cultures and Black Americans need to be left behind? They don't listen. Are y'all serious right now? These are the conversations that we're having in 2025 when we need to be showing unity to each other. We need to be praying for our brothers and sisters everywhere they're at.
Yeah, I guess
in the world.
I guess the Harlem Renaissance didn't exist. I'm like, we just don't be doing nothing. I guess I forgot.
I don't get it, and this is the state of the world right now.
I still refuse to believe it's real. I still believe wholeheartedly it's a psyop. It ain't happening. We're gonna sit here and act like a government ain't ever gave somebody some money before to say something.
That's true.
So I refuse to believe it because it just sounds ridiculous to me. Like, of course, we can't sit here and act like you don't grow up in America with some type of racist ideology. Everybody said some type of African joke growing up. But where does that come from? Why do we even think if you ain't never met an African, why do you even have an African joke?
And that's not blaming the white man. That's systematic things that have been put in place to make me think at 5, 6, 7 years old when I'm watching on the TV, the things that I'm consuming in school each and every day. All that stuff goes into this whole system of what America is and how they have controlled our people for so long. That all goes into it. That's the whole totality. That's not blaming the white man. That's actually identifying the problem.
Honestly, but how do you identify a problem without playing the victim, I guess? Because you're identifying that, I guess, you're in a place of victimhood.
I'm identifying that since I was a child, I've been brainwashed in a certain way to think a certain type of way. That's how everybody has.
Sound like a victim.
Oh, okay.
You're the victim of brainwash.
Hey.
You was a victim, my brother.
Hey. Some of y'all was too, and that's all I'm gonna say.
A lot of y'all are and just don't want to believe it. A lot of y'all ain't let that brainwashing pill get beside you. Y'all still taking that. Y'all ain't watched The Giver? Y'all didn't read The Giver growing up? The world is more than black and white, but they got y'all caught in that loop of I gotta do this routine every single day. They're keeping the world dim for you. You just need to break off from the status quo for just a second, and you'll realize like, hey, nigga, apples are red and green, and the trees got colors and stuff. Like, hold on, I got melanin and melatonin and whatever y'all call it. Like, it's more than just blah. But if y'all let it just be that, it is gonna be what it is. Mm-hmm. But the fact that y'all gonna sit here and have conversations about black people not having culture, what are we even talking about? What is culture besides movies or media, art, food, family like what part of like a ranking of what is identifiable as culture have black Americans not entirely created on their own within the last 500, 600 years?
That's true.
But they literally said black people don't have culture, then named our culture and just said it sucks.
Right.
They say they don't have a culture. They do this and do that. And it's trash, and they like to sexualize themselves, and they just like shoes, and they like this and like that. It sounded like you was naming stuff. It just sounded like stuff you didn't like, or stuff that you deem as less than. Hey, I don't even know.
Hey,
I don't get it.
I don't get it. But further conversations will be had. I think it's important for
I'm not
us
having
to.
I'm not having this conversation again.
I'm just saying, further conversation will be had. It's niggas out here, and we gonna have to fend. Shit's about to go down.
I mean,
bro, there's a lot of stuff going on in the world where I'm looking at it and I'm not optimistic on the outcome.
bro, we deport 2,000 people every day.
So
Every day.
there's gonna have to be some unity and some organization going on and some community going on.
Shoot, you sense any of that
in
happening
these
anytime
cities.
soon? When you, I give organization a good. I say we got at least another 40 years
Ugh.
before people start really like, okay, I think now we need to like put all the pettiness to a side and really come together for one true
No more
goal.
dark skin, light skin.
No more dark skin license. No more. He took me to Chevy's. No more of the nonsense. No more of his car was. No more of she did. None of it. It's
None
all
of it.
stupid.
None of it.
It's all dumb. Did you watch Pop the Balloon?
No, I didn't watch it.
I heard most people were not able to make it past the first 10 seconds. They said Pop the Balloon was colonized already, and they just got celebrities running it now. I mean, what did y'all think happened is Netflix? It's not YouTube.
There you go.
They just about to pull up some random person from Sacramento or random person from Orange County. No, you need to have some name, some followers attached to that if you hopping on Netflix.
Right.
Hey, but that's what we like out here. We like selling it out sometimes. Sometimes you gotta sell it. Money is money. Sometimes you gotta sell it. Don't let them come. Don't let Netflix come to me. Sell it.
There you go.
BLAM on Netflix coming soon.
Coming soon. Another conversation. Black culture in America. My name is Cayman.
My name is Xavier. It is a psyop. Don't believe it.
Don't believe it.
Don't believe it.
I agree. All right, we out. Peace.